So it's the day after Christmas, and I'm out here, got this other cylinder out, and took it apart, and they had a U-cup seal in the gland, which was totally disintegrated. But the other cool thing is that they had put a rubber seal in, and it just popped right out. The metal casing, I think, is still on it, maybe, yeah. But they've just beat it all over with center punches and screwdriver ends, chisels, trying to hold that in. So it was leaking. But I think the biggest problem with that one was they've been rebuilt and they've put U-cup seals in, and they haven't cleaned that out. It doesn't look too bad, but pretty rusty there. If those are pitted in there, a U-cup seal is never going to seal. You're going to have to go back to regular gland packing, which is what I put in that other steering cylinder. So I'm going to need a whole bunch of 3-inch seals, and then a whole bunch of packing. And then the other seals I'm going to need are the ones that go in there. So this one, I have gland packing in that one. So, and then this is a good metal backed wiper seal that I glued in with some bearing mount. So anyway, I got stuff to clean up. I don't have parts. That's the bad thing. I just don't have parts. No parts. So I guess I just need to keep tearing cylinders off and tear them down. I can either take these other two outrigger cylinders out, or just tear these steering ones off and start opening them up, which that's easier. So I think I'm going to take the easier way before I clutter the shop up with so much crap I don't know where it's all at. Anyway, never ends. Vise, where the vise used to go. Vise. So I guess we found the limits of the vise. Never gonna fix that, am I? So I bought this Wilton vise because we're gonna build a bench to put all my hose stuff on and have a vise over there. But since I broke that nice atoll that Dave Anderson sent me, I had to mount it up here for right now. I don't know, I really love that atoll vise because it was square in here and you could drop stuff in and it would hold it. This one just looks like it'll be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to try to fix the atoll, or I found another one for 150 bucks. Maybe I'll just buy it. Anyway, I love that vise. It just makes me sick that we broke it. So I took the other steering cylinder off. I can't get it undone. I took this one out on the shop or the service truck vise, heated it up. I can't get him loose, so I'm gonna have to take these to the hydraulic shop, get them undone. Anyway, I got that barrel honed because I got my racks, and I just got done honing this one and cleaning it up. So we'll let her drip dry, and then I'll get it out here and set it down. And then I just got to start working on getting all the seals that I need. This particular head had a U-cup in it that fell apart. It's pretty good inside where the bore is. GoPro keeps shutting off. Don't buy a GoPro. Anyway, so it's got some pitting in it right here, so I don't know if I need to put packing in there, if I could do a U-cup, or if I could do this kind of stuff, this Hydra pack, lock, whatever stuff. I like that, looks of that. I could try that because that's gonna fill the whole void, whereas a U-cup's gonna sit here and walk back and forth. And what I find with a U-cup is it wears the outside lip off and then they start leaking. So I still can't get these nuts off of here, so I've got them tipped up and I've been spraying some PB Blaster in here, hoping it'll go down in the threads if they're all rusty. See if I can break them loose. And then I called Andy the other day, and he's sending me all the seals I need for the rest of the rams. I've still got to get this one out. Yesterday I got this one out here. He's a dirty pig. I'm thinking about taking him outside and taking the steam cleaner to him. So I'm having a hard time getting motivated this morning to tear this apart. Okay, last cylinder coming out. Last one. Celebration time. Celebration. She's turned. Yabba-dabba-doo. That's the way we're going to come out. Yeah, that ain't coming out that way, Jeff. Uncle Charlie, I'm going to have to rotate. There we go. Now we'll get her. Voila! I save all my cardboard for this purpose. Cardboreum. Soaks up oil. It's like Mr. Clean. Ajax shakes out white, turns blue. I don't see any set screws in this one, at least there. Got to get the set screws out. Take it off. I can tell this one's been worked on because the holes are kind of wallered. I think they loosened it and tightened it with a punch. Same thing Jeff's gonna do. Well, that's not moving. Watch out, flying hammer. Flying hammer! Ooh, what's... Oh my god, you gotta be kidding. Some son of a bitch welded this. What in the hell were they thinking? They have welded the piss out of this. They've ruined it. Unbelievable. They have welded the shit out of it. What kind of an effing moron would do that? That's just asinine. Why would you weld it? Oh my gosh. Well, Shit balls. That's not good at all. Look at this. Look at that. It's welded there and there. Welded there. It's like they welded it in 3 places. Completely dicked it up. Balls. So that's why it wouldn't turn. How stupid can you be? Jesus. So I guess I can get out the skinny wheel and try to cut it. See if it'll come loose. Man, that's stupid. Did I tell you that's stupid? Whoa, stupid. Alrighty, Jeff wins. I got that nut off. I cut the welds, and there's nothing wrong with the threads, but some wing nut welded it on anyway. And then this is not the correct nut. It is this one right here. So what they're doing, that didn't even go on the threads. This is hitting in the bottom of the barrel. Anyway, that goes clear in there. That way the end of this rod hits the end of the barrel, not the nut. Oh man, and then it looks like when they took it apart, they beat the crap out of this flange trying to get it out, and it's broke off. It's dicked up everywhere. It was sealing here, but the nut pushes against the brass piece and that pushes against here. But so we'll clean this up and make it work. But man, talk about messed up garbage. Holy moly. And then these seals, they are messed up. Something's happened here. The last one I took out looks like somebody had hit it with a hammer and pooched it out, and that ain't good. Boy, somebody that didn't know what they were doing worked on this baby, didn't they? So I got the gland out, and they knocked a chunk out of it. You can see the screwdriver marks on it. They were trying to pound it out. And then on the face of it, they just literally beat the snot out of it. You can see how bad that seal's pooched out. And they've center punched all the way around it, so that bore's dicked up good. But I took the ring, I cleaned the threads up, washed them, put them back on the barrel. They fit fine, they're plenty tight. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take this barrel into the machine shop and have them cut this weld off, and then see if maybe they could run in and cut the threads back over that, because one of the things I noticed when I took it off is there was probably an 1/8 of an inch gap between the cast iron gland and the end of the barrel, so it didn't get it shoved all the way in. Now I could do the same thing they did, but you run the risk of leaking oil past the U-cup, around past the brass wear ring, and then coming up out, which I'm surprised it didn't leak there anyway. But it's all fixable. That's just beyond me that somebody would weld that on. And even if it had been welded on before, you know, that's not the way to fix it. There's no excuse. There's just no excuse. But old Jeff, he's gonna kick its ass, I promise you. I will get it fixed. So this is my last cylinder outrigger to get apart. This thing's just going hard all the way. I took this deal, and it used to go in here pretty good and catch. Not so much anymore, but that really helped. So I got a big chain wrench coming. I'll use that to tighten them back up. I'll probably have to use it to get that one undone. I took this other barrel into S&G and D before he went on vacation, cleaned up the weld and stuff so I can get that all the way on, which was awesome. I've been spraying PB Bum Blaster in there, and as much as I've turned it, you'd think that it got in there and it just come loose, but it doesn't want to, and so that's the crap you put up with when you don't have the tools. And those two, I've been spraying them for days with PB Blaster around there so that maybe it'll get down in the threads and I can break them loose. Barrel, air hose, rod. You can see the skid mark across the floor when that came out. Holy shit. I couldn't get that head out, man, and I just thought, you know what? Usually I'll push them, and as soon as those seals get to that opening, it just kind of peters out. But this time it blew that son of a gun clear out of there. It was quite a bang. Oh, that was stupid. Wish I'd had the camera going, but it worked. So I tried using a rotary file to get that bad dent out of there. I gave up, went down and put it in the lathe and straightened it up and got all these other bulges out of it. So hopefully the seal will fit in there good. I've pretty much got everything cleaned up. All the heads, glands, and the rings, threaded rings. So the only thing left I got to do is I got 2 barrels to hone out. That one, Jake is down on the lathe, on his lathe, machining me a disc that goes in this filter deal. It goes over this right here, and then the spring goes on top of it. When he gets that done, I'll go ahead and get the filters in and the lid on that. As you can see, I didn't want that to leak. And it didn't. Yeah, we're moving along. I still, like I say, I'm waiting for that chain wrench to show up. Today's Friday, so I think it's supposed to be here Saturday or Monday, and then I can see if I can get those off. But I just keep spraying them and spraying them. Hopefully that goes in there, loosens it up if they're rusted and seized. But like I said, I put heat to that one and I still couldn't get it undone. I haven't given up yet. It hasn't whipped my ass. Jeff's gonna win one way or the other. Okay, I'm gonna put these filters in. I wanted to show you this hole in here. So it looks to me like all the oil that gets returned comes in the bottom here. It's going to go up in this chamber through this outside of the filters and then in up through the top. But without that disc in there, in the bottom of this plate here, it's like a bypass. With that wide open, all that oil could just, a lot of it could just recirculate. Can't tell. We're up in there all the way. I think so. I'm thinking so. What you thinking? What you thinking, Jeff? Springs are gonna go up first. Come on, Jeff. That's tricky. It's tricky, Dickie. This is going to be what they call a pain. room to get it in and then slide it over, I could maybe do it, but I just don't. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Jeez Louise, Jeff. Arms are going to sleep. Now I've dropped the disc. That's good too. Way to go, Jeff. I'm gonna see if I can get a bolt started just to hold it. Come on, Jeff. Oh, dirt in the eye. Don't need dirt in the eye. Oh, there we go. Okay. Dirt in the oil in the eye. That ain't good, man. That hurts. Oh, that hurts. Okay, I think I have it out. Dirt out of my eye. Okay, when I get this other bolt in there, I'll bring the camera out and show you what I'm dealing with here. Okay, so there's the disc, but it's got to go in there. And then I got to tighten these down to hold it in the slot, I guess. There it is. And it's in the slot, so I can push it up and down in the slot. But without that on there, the oil would just come gushing back down out of here. It really wouldn't be filtering it. Okay, I got that other bolt in and I figured out how this works. So if the filters, there's too much resistance, the pressure is gonna go in here and lift this off its seat and bypass the filter. That's how that works, because all the oil's coming in over here on this side out of all these pipes and stuff and going around the outside. So if it can't get through, it's going to lift that off its seat. Jeff, I could figure stuff out. You give me enough time. Jeff wins. Alrighty, I want to show you what I'm up against under here. This is bad. So in the book, let me get the light so you can see. So right up here, get the light up here, that big old valve bolts to the rotary valve up in the turntable, runs all the functions, the crane, the crowd, and the internal hoists, and the cables hook on up front. And that valve is massive. It's like 4 inches thick, probably 18 by 18. And you'd have to take the drive lines off, and even then, to get it past the drive yoke, that would be a job. But in the book it shows that they basically at the factory install that valve while the turntable's laying on its side. And that's almost the way it's made for you to even get it apart, get it out of there. So that's what water in the oil does. And it had all the valves up in the cab stuck, but you just take a hammer, tap the valve, and they'd break free and work fine. But these sons of bucks, just, they're fighting me. Everything on this has been fighting me. Okay, let me show you. I got the drive lines out, and there's that valve. There's 4 big bolts that hold that. Look at the size of that son of a bitch. My floor jack's not going to let it all the way to the ground. I mean, there's going to come a point where you're just going to have to get a hold of it and manhandle it. I don't know what else to do. As you can tell, I'm perplexed. Extremely perplexed. Alright, partial win for Jeff. I got all the control cables unscrewed. In the book it says there's a jam nut in there, and you have to take the back covers off and hold that flat blade screw in the end that holds the spring on to take them out. But somebody's changed these, because there's like some grade 5 bolts in there, and they just screwed them in deep into the spool in the threads. I don't see why you'd need a jam nut, I really don't. So I've got those 4 bolts loose. Really wasn't much oil that's come out. So there's a pressure valve on the side here. Like I was saying, I think I've got to get that pressure valve out off the side just to get rid of some weight and some width so we can handle it better. I got the pipes unhooked off the side. It's ready to come out of there, but there's no way in the world I'm going to try to do that by myself. That thing would kill you. There's just no way one guy can hold that. So I still haven't figured out how I'm going to get it out of there. Hopefully in this video you see this video, otherwise I'm dead or in the hospital. Don't worry, I ain't gonna hurt myself. Anyway, I bet I'm black from head to toe, but I bet my hair is full of grease. It's down my neck. It's everywhere. So this is what's going on outside today. Gale force winds. Skies are black over that way. We've been getting snow. Anyway, sure glad I got a nice warm shop. Let's see what's going on inside the shop. There we go. So I have cleaned up all my mess under there. Had to take a putty scraper and go across the floor to get the grease off. I've got a pig mat under there, taking up the drips off that valve. Jack my jack and up as far as it'll go, and I need 20 inches to reach that valve, and then the jack will go down 20 inches. So that still leaves me a little over 20 inches off the ground when I'm done. All right, so I have come up with a plan to get that valve out of here. So this will be the piece that goes up on the bottom of the valve, and you've got 4 bolts over here, and on the valve where the bolts go in, it has about 1/8 or so of raised cast iron that's machined flat. So we'll take the plasma torch and cut this out, and then that should fit this plate in there, so there's no way that valve's going to move around, slide on this, because it would have to go up over those 1/8-inch high cast pieces. And then for the base to go in the jack, I've got this piece and a truck stud that goes in the hole perfectly. And then I've got a piece of square tube. Square tube will get, after we weld this stud in around here, then that'll get welded to here, and then the other piece I showed you over there will get welded to the other end. So what I did is I put the jack under there, jacked it all the way up, and it's 20 inches from reaching the valve. So that piece of tubing is 19.5 inches long. And then you got 2 1/4-inch pieces that you're welding to that. So that's going to put me at 20 inches. So once I get it up there and get that pressure valve off the side of it, that should balance it better and give me a lot more room to get the valve down. It's going to be tricky. I'm still contemplating whether or not see if I can pull the drive yoke off the transmission, because that would gain me about 4 to 5 inches of room in there to maneuver that and get it down. So anyway, once I get it up there, because of the way I have that plate, I'll be able to lift it up, take the weight off, undo the bolts, and there it'll be on that. And then I can let it down, and I can get 20 inches of travel down. So by the time I get it down 20 inches, that puts it in a position where probably a couple guys could get a hold of it and get it out of there. I guess if I really wanted badly to do this without straining our milk trying to pick it up, I've got one more jack, and I could build another stand so that once you raise that jack all the way up, you just slide it over there and lower it down. Now, what I'm hoping I could probably do is put that one on the other jack, and then once I raise it all the way up, I should be able to slide it right over onto that one. Then I could lower it to the ground, which would be awesome, because then you're not risking dropping it on yourself. And then once I get it cleaned up and I go back in, I can do the same thing. I could put a rag on there and slide it to the other one, get it up and bolt it up. The only other thing I'm wondering about is the circular valve up in there that all these lines go to. At this point, do I want to take that out and reseal that? I don't know. That could always be done later, but now would be the best time, because once you unbolt that valve off of there and then you took that out, any dirt stuff that falls down in is not going to fall in the valve. So I was just up there looking at the cylinder on this thing, and it is massive, because this crane is the pressure, max pressure on the hydraulics is only 1500 psi, probably because they did not have the sealing technology that we do now when this was built. Otherwise it'd probably be up around 2000 or more. But that cylinder is the same size in diameter as a 5-gallon bucket. It might even actually be bigger. That thing is massive, and the only way you're going to get it out of there is lift that whole top boom off and then pull it up out of the middle. Not really want to do that right now. I mean, someday down the road. It is leaking up top. You can see the barrel's dirty. So I'm sure the packing and whatever's in it's not good either. So that's where I'm at. The other thing I'm going to do once I get the valve out is start to unhook all these big hoses on both sides to let them get air and let it drain all the oil that's in those lines and everything out and down through where the valve bolted up, and I'll have to put a big pan under there to catch all that stuff. So it's dark 30, so I'm going to call it a day. You know, when you got to fabricate tools to work on your tool, it just takes a lot of time. So anyway, I've had enough. Oh, I was going to show you you probably saw it over here on the bench. My chain wrench showed up. I bought that from Vivor. They seem to have everything from kitchen stuff to tools. Anyway, there it is. That's going to come in really handy to put those threaded nuts back on the barrels. Plus, I'm hoping it's going to take those off. I keep just spraying these all the time. I'm using PB Blaster because I'm all out of liquid wrench. I love the liquid wrench. I've never really seen the PB Blaster work that great, but I'm hoping that runs down in there and loosens that up enough we can bust it loose. So, see you tomorrow. All right, so here's the tool all welded on. And Jake, he could be a welder for a living, couldn't he? So take this off, slide him under there. I got the jack extension handle off. I've got to get this under there. And then, let's see, you got to get it turned around. Ow. Okay, okay. Real good then. Okay, so here's the plan, Stan. There's that pressure control valve out there on the paper towel. I've taken it off of there. So if that shift rod wasn't there, it'd be a piece of cake. You just go over there and come down till you got past the drive yoke and let it on down. But that's not the case. So that valve's about 13 wide. Front to back, side to side, it's 11. So somehow I got to go up over in here and try to get it down past the yoke, then back over and down. And I'm not real super confident that's gonna clear that yoke. And then I thought, well, I could remove these two lines. That would definitely help. I can't even get up in there to get a wrench on them. They're hooked to rubber hoses here. Be no problem, doesn't do it there, but it's up there. Then you got this damn loop-de-loo thing, but I think by the time I got to that point, I could get it out. So worst case, if there's no way I can finagle it down through there, I got to put it back up and put a couple bolts in it. And then I will have to start undoing lines. I'll have to do whatever it takes to get it out. That's just all there is to it. So if I stick you there, you ain't gonna stay, are you, Mr. Camera? He might there, and then again he might fall off. Let me see if I can get this under here and around. Oh man. You know, it really helps to go a lot. Have you noticed that? Like that. You want to go a lot. So that's not where I want to be. That's better. Yeah, baby. Okay, that is bypassing. That's all the way up. And it's not quite taut on there. So all I could do is unloosen those bolts some more. Hey, are you guys paying attention? Are you even paying attention? Because this is about to get serious, kids. This is about to get damn serious. I'm damn serious. Okay, so let's loosen this one. See what if I can even get on it. Jeez. Woo! It's gonna get stuck. Whoa! That bolt's out. One bolt out, and those are 9 miles long. Okay, I got one out, and we're still not tight like tiger on that yet. Ah, man. So we'll loosen this end. So that one's loose. So why aren't we? That one over there is loose. Wow. Are we tight yet? Nope. Jeez. This is not fun. This is flat ass scary. I ain't kidding you, Bill. I'm not kidding you. Can you see that mess? Shit. I don't. That's tight there. She's on it. Oh. Now what? What? God, it's like it's moving. If that tips forward, that's going to dump that sumbitch off and she's coming to the ground. Oh. I don't like this. I mean, what the hell? Still not that tight on there. I don't like it, Jeff. They're both loose, for Pete's sakes. This concerns me. See, that one's gonna come out. Look at that. See, she's just hanging on by the one. Ooh, I don't like it. Oh man. Oh man. This is scary. See, that wants to rotate. It wants to turn that way. Why? Whoa, what was that? Huh. Some kind of spacer deal fell out of that hole. Did I tell you I'm scared? I'm really scared. I don't like this at all. Oh, geez. Okay. It is now. There's no bolts in it. Holy shit, that's heavy. Look at that wobbling bastard. Sorry for the language. I'm just scared to death here. I am scared to death. Maybe I'll just undo the jack lever and walk away. I thought about getting a ton of cardboard and just boxes and shit and just stack them all over under here to let it fall out. Cardboard's a pretty good dampener, isn't it? So if I turn this how like this, ooh shit, that is fucking scary shit. Oh good God, Miss Molly, this is flat scary. Holy shit, what the hell? Okay, I'm gonna come down a little. Come on, baby. Ooh, this is going that way. Can't do that. Whoa. Okay, now we're stuck on that. Charlie horse in my foot. Not good, not good. Oh, man. What here? God, Friday. No, I don't do this. What are you doing? Big dumbass. That's a bastard. Holy cow. Oh, that's not good. Holy Jeff. There. Okay, now what are we stuck on? Nothing. Whoa. Holy moly. Whoa, there we go. Whoa. Okay, we're under that. I've got to slide the whole jack this way without dropping that valve. There. Okay. Now, back and down. Okay, kids, we're down almost. Okay, there we are. That's just hanging there sideways. So now I gotta go get that other jack and get it under here and see if I can slide that valve onto that other jack, because I'm as down as far as I'm gonna be able to go. All right, Jeff wins. I told you I would. Can you get out there and let that down and drag it out? Pull it out or it'll hit these hoses. There you go. Now you can come down quite a ways. All right, that come out.
Looks pretty buggered.
Yeah. So now, what am I going to do with it? Because I can't put that in the washer. I'd have to haul that outside and something. Scrape as much crap off as I can. Ugh. Yeah? Me and Mr. Griffey been out playing Mr. Plow. Woohoo! Okay, so I got the valve out. I got it disassembled. It's in there. And the spools are over here on the bench. Got everything cleaned up. So I've got, oh, let me so these are the snap rings that hold those in. One of them, okay, one of them broke. They're fairly thick, so I gotta find some new ones. All right, you wanna go? Let's go. Anyway, it finally quit snowing and blowing. Had to bust out the 14 to clean out in front of my house and mailbox. Then Jake went and got his backhoe and finished pushing it away from the mailbox. Come on, buddy, let's go. And then me and Mr. Griffey just cleaned out in front of the shop, if you can see anything. So it's supposed to get cold now. I think by Sunday we're supposed to get down -11 or 14, something like that. So anyway, I go in the house, work on a video while Mr. Griffey poops. So you want to know a fast way to clean the inside of a rusty spring out? You just take a wire wheel like that, put it in there. Crank it around, it'll come through the coils, pry it out around, and it'll cleans it right up. That's awesome. Worked good, man, worked good. Sweet. Looks good for cleaning that out too. Boy, those are dirty. Till you run it off and poke it through your hand. Okay, so that's clean. So let's see, what else did I have to do? I got these all cleaned up. And then, so these are the ones the control cables go into. It's got an O-ring here and a small one inside. So the small one inside slides on the cable. This one seals this threaded piece to the housing. And then you got a big lock nut that goes over this on the outside. These I haven't cleaned up. I didn't have them out when I wire wheeled them and washed them. All right, so I got my seals from Andy. Got everything I need. So now I can start putting rams together. But I've been working all day on this valve and I've got it cleaned up. Got the spools operating free. So I can get this together. Got to clean the springs and stuff up, but if somebody can tell me where I can get some snap rings like this, they're fairly thick. Let me get out the micrometer and measure them. All right, so they are 91 thousandths thick, and then where they fit in here is going to be, I don't know, I should call Andy. Maybe Andy can tell me. Where they go on the shaft, it looks like they're 704. That's an oddball size, isn't it? 705, 704. And then the outside diameter, they're all sprung to a certain degree. The outsides are going to be 936, probably. Time that goes down a little bit, I don't know what they're going to be, but I need to find 3 of those because these are bent. This one's broke, and that goes around the, when you put it together, one of those cones goes on this way, the spring, and then the other cone, and then this goes on, and that captures them, makes the spool centered. So the other thing I'm gonna have to do is, there's an outfit in Texas called Crane Co. And they supply parts for these. But right up in here, right in there is that rotating valve. And looking at the book, you got that top plate on there, which is gonna hold that whole spool assembly. And if I undo that, I may be able to be able to drop the whole cylinder out of that and reseal it. I know it doesn't look greasy in here, but when I was steam cleaning it, after the first time I got it, I did a lot of steam cleaning. It was pretty greasy in here. There's a lot of oil residue down in there. I don't know, I guess I could take all the hoses off, all the lines. I think there's, I don't know how, I'm gonna have to look at the book again to see how that goes together. All right, there's the valve, and then there it is right there. So, is that the valve or is that block? That says number 11 block. So, I'm assuming if you take the cap off of this, that this whole thing would drop out, and it just shows an O-ring under the lid there, O-ring at the bottom, and then it takes 10 of the number 8 O-rings. I'm assuming they go in here on this. It doesn't show any other type of seals or wear bands or anything on there. Number 12, you know, it don't look like an O-ring, but it says number 12 O-ring, one of those, 6 of a number 14. Where's 14? Oh, that's the plugs. Number 11, kit block. See, there's a big square piece still under there. This is not the valve spool. So you got a bolt that comes down through here, and I'm assuming it goes into this block. And that's all held. Well, now that can't possibly be. Something's holding that up in there. It would have fell out by now. I need to crawl under there and see what's going on. That almost looks like a stud. But anyway, as long as I'm this far in there, this probably needs resealed. So I gotta figure out how to get that out. So, more stuff to take apart, but with those seal kits for the rams, I can start putting those together, except I've got one rod here that the chrome's just falling off of. So either I gotta send this to Andy and have him put another one on, or I gotta get that re-chromed. And this is an outrigger cylinder, but that's not gonna work. Not gonna work. So it's always something. I thought this was going to be an easy fix, but it's not. So I'm going to end this video here. I really don't have anything else to show you. Next Friday, I'm hoping that we have all the cylinders on except that one that needs chrome, and I've got that rotating valve in there out, and I'm resealing that. So I'm getting closer. This has really turned into quite a project. So hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one.